today called Human Intelligence, which is focused primarily on helping not only all of you, young millennials of color, but all people in the world to find happiness and purpose in their careers and happiness and purpose in their personal lives, both on the individual higher consciousness level and on the community level, which is consciousness for a group. So let me tell you some tips and then a little bit more about my company in the last minute. First thing, recruit well, hire right. It will kill you if you rush, and I know that all of you are running around crazy, no time, you just got to fill that role. Take your time. I've made some of the big mistakes like that. Your culture changes. It's crazy to say that you're going to keep the same culture all the time from 0 to 1 million to 10 million. You actually need to be a creative company, throw shift on the wall, and see what sticks. And then later, when you're trying to scale, be a more a systematic organization. So culture, the behaviors, the motivators, the work styles of your company should change. If you actually keep the same culture, you will guarantee failure. Valuation. Don't just value your company and what your friends will invest in. If they trust you, they believe you. I made that mistake. Okay, now it's hard to get money from the sophisticated investors. So value your company with the sophisticated investors, think it's worth not only you can raise from your friends. And I've raised over $2 million from my friends. Vision. It's hard as hell. You're going to be working all day, all night, reactive, in the weeds. At the end of the day, meditate, take a deep breath, go to the beach, look at the sky, look at nature, vibrate with the light out there that's also within. That vibration will give you the vision and connect you back to your heart. The vibration of your heart is what's going to see you through this experience. Networking. Everyone tries to control their network, not controlling, and networking just by the vibration of who you feel right with. So there might be someone you want to talk to, but someone you get along really well with. I bet you the person you get along well with also knows somebody just as important as that person. So network without control. Okay? Be open-minded around any corner, in the taxi, in the elevator, anybody can help you. Okay, last statement about my company. We are going to solve the problem of hiring not based on subjectivity, not based on the resume. By the way, the resume, invented 450 years ago, it hasn't changed. Leonardo da Vinci. There's been no innovation in hiring for 450 years. That's why LinkedIn's had some challenges, because LinkedIn is really based on the skills and the resumes, everything cognitive about a person. It's only 30% success. The EQ, emotional intelligence, is what leads to success. We're the first company in the world to measure EQ literally in 9 minutes. Nobody else in the world can do it in less than 1 hour. And then when you roll that data up, you can measure the culture and the performance and why people succeed in every job, in every role, in every company. And so no more hiring based on who you like, because that's what people do. Okay? It's hiring based on who's right for the role, right for the culture, and right for the team, and doesn't matter what color, race, religion, or age. So that's what our company does, and by doing that, unemployment's going to go down all over the world. Millennials won't just stay at a job for 1.3 years on average, and everyone's going to be happy, have purpose in their careers, and eventually use this tool and have purpose in their life. And because every single person has there's 6.5 billion resumes in this world. Google hasn't touched more than 2 billion people. If the resume were a company, it'd be the biggest company in the world. We will be the opposite half of the resume. If the resume is your IQ, we're the EQ. There'll be 6.5 billion people we're going to touch, and we're going to generate happiness and utility for the world. Thank you very much.
I'm going to stop going to Starbucks and hang out with you. Golly, I'm going to start a company. I'm excited. Okay, so for jokes aside, for entrepreneurs, this is why we got Juan Luis in the room, because obviously he's going to shorten your learning curve, right, and make it steep real quick so you can get to where you need to be. So thank you for that. Phenomenal. Okay, also we've got, would we make sure we get the name tag for Sabriti Bhattacharya from Kairos, is that correct? Okay, so you've got 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Sabriti, and I'm the founder of Kairos. 70% of the world is ocean, and even today you know less than 5% of it, which is less than what you know about the moon's surface. But if you think about the future, just like you have connected cities, connected homes, the future of the oceans is connected because it's the future of our food, our resources, and our energy. That's what we do at Kairos. We design intelligent technologies for the connected ocean of the future. Part of it is a spin-off of my own doctorate thesis at MIT, and the rest of it is a result of about $4 million R&D in the last several years. Right now, we are partnering with a super major oil and gas company and sustainable fish farming companies, and we are ready to scale to use AI and robotics to enable exploration of a new frontier, open up new markets, and create what you might call the Google Maps of the ocean. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so quick audible we're going to call here. Macy's got to run to a meeting, and because we've invested in her company, I'm not mad at her about that. She's going to go. But before she leaves, we want to make sure she shares a quick success story, particularly if you are one of the millennial tech entrepreneurs, it's your first time to culture shift, you want to hear this quick story from her.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt the amazing stories that are happening. But yeah, so last year I attended my first culture shifting weekend, and I didn't really know what to expect. I'd met Andrea a few times, I had met Kwame a couple of times, but I didn't really understand or comprehend the power of the room. I just saw some really dope photos online. And so last year during this Millennial Tech Breakfast, I had the opportunity to share what I was working on. And then during the brunch later on in the weekend, I was able to share as well. And I just want to encourage you guys to get to know the people at your table and the other tables around you, because this is an incredible community and everyone here wants to help you succeed and bring your vision into fruition and see it prosper. So some concrete examples. So as a result of this weekend, we raised about $200,000 from angel investors as well as Kwame. And the other thing that I think was even more valuable was the fact that we had the opportunity to speak to people from Fortune 500 companies, potential clients, and as a result of this weekend and just this community that Andrea's created, we are always at the forefront of their minds when it comes to looking at new technologies to adopt for their platforms. So as a result, I have companies that are worth hundreds of millions and billions of dollars calling and sending me emails saying, hey, I think we finally found a fit for your product. And as a result, our conversations have been escalated to their global SVPs. So with that, I just say, really dig into this weekend. You get out of it what you put into it. And there are really great people here who are ready and willing to help and be a community for you and your company.
Thank you. Good luck on the meeting. All right, now we're going to go to Ms. Ariel Lopez from 2020 Shift.
Perfect, thank you so much. I'm just going to stand over here because it's awkward so I can see everyone. Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Ariel Lopez. I'm the founder and CEO of 2020 Shift. We make it faster and easier for companies and professionals to find the right fit. Companies spend over $250 billion every single year on recruiting software and services to attract the right talent, yet they end up hiring the wrong ones all the time. I myself was a former tech recruiter and career coach and decided to quit my job at General Assembly, just got acquired, back in 2016 to find an innovative way to solve this problem. For the past 2 years, we've worked alongside leading brands and startups like Google, Oscar, Spotify, PayPal, and more to match them to professionals that fit the criteria of in-demand tech roles. We found that the easiest way to help companies source at scale is by allowing them the opportunity to vet and screen candidates based off of small hiring challenges and assessments. Our new platform allows them to do just that, cutting their recruiting time in half, and also fast-tracking them to the right people. In addition, professionals get feedback on every single assessment that they take, so they actually have clarity in their job search in terms of where they need to go next and what skills they need to learn to accelerate in their career. I'm here today because I'm looking to connect with strategic partners, potential investors, as well as board members that see the value in what we're building and get the vision of how we are changing the way people find jobs. Again, my name is Ariel Lopez, and I'm looking forward to speaking with all of you. Thank you so much.
Outstanding. Now we go to Mr. Emeka Ogu.
Good morning, everybody. How you all doing today? My name is Emeka Ogu. I'm the founder and CEO of People Joy. By a show of hands, who here had to borrow money to go to college or business school? That's not a surprise. Minorities and women tend to have more debt than the average. My name is Emeka Ogu. As I said, People Joy, what we do is we offer student loan repayment solutions for employers that want to invest in the financial readiness of their workforce. So with People Joy, what companies can do is make a 401k, a match towards their employee student loans, very similar to how you would do it with a 401k. My inspiration for starting People Joy was between business school for myself and medical school for my wife. We graduated with close to $400,000 in student debt. Right, so pretty high. So traction today, we have 6 employees. We're at 12 companies. We just received some investment from Don Katz, the founder and CEO of Audible. What I'm looking for today is we're looking to grow our advisory board with business leaders and folks with human resource backgrounds, as well as introductions to companies looking to invest in the financial readiness of their workforce. Thank you.
Outstanding. Well, are you in Atlanta yet, or are you in Minneapolis still? Where did you come from? Atlanta. You just got here? Okay. So just came from Atlanta. Founder and CEO of Civic Demola Ogundepe. My man. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we worked on that a couple times.
Yeah. Oh man, why didn't you tell me about that?
Yeah, you're the only one that can tell jokes. I'm Demola Ogundepe. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of Civic Eagle. We help enterprise companies and nonprofit organizations win their policy advocacy efforts. We're disrupting a $35 billion industry. That's how much money is spent each year on policy advocacy. The way that we do that is with a software as a service platform that's powered by machine learning to help automate the manual processes that these policy professionals in these organizations use when it comes to tracking legislation and mobilizing their stakeholders.
I found this on the web. It's powered by...
There's a joke in there somewhere. I lost my train of thought. Over the last 45 days, we've closed 5 customers. We're working on a paid pilot with one of our investors, Comcast, as well as working towards a paid pilot with one of the big 2 ride-sharing companies, but I can't disclose which one yet, but you got a 50% chance, I'm guessing. So thank you for your time. I'm really excited to be here and talk to each one of you.
Well done, sir. All right. So I met this young lady like 40 years ago in Jackson, Mississippi. And all I heard was that she had created an app and millions of people had downloaded it. Unbelievable. So give it up for founder and CEO of Cafeteria, Ms. Sheena Allen, who also, let's give it up first now. We were so proud of doing it. CNN.com homepage, right? A week and a half ago. That's right.
Hello, I'm Sheena Allen. I'm CEO and co-founder of Capway, and we are a financial technology company, and we focus on the unbanked, underbanked, and working poor millennials. Right now, our initial focus is those in rural areas, inner cities, and banking deserts. We are a mobile-first platform, although we are building a web version right now, and we call it a two-sided coin. So we do offer the financial side, including banking those who are unbanked, but we also have the education side. And so for us, it was about offering culturally relevant education, but also with the service to it so that we can make sure that that content is actually having a positive impact on their actual financial behavior. We did our beta actually with the University of Southern Mississippi, and that's because about 50% of their students had qualified for a Pell Grant, and that resulted in them actually signing a multi-year contract with us now, so that every incoming freshman or transfer will actually sign up to be part of Capway. And my inspiration behind the company is being from Mississippi. We are the state. We have the highest population of unbanked and underbanked residents, unfortunately. And it came from me watching my grandmother keep her money in a sock. And when I would go back home to visit, because he said it's my second startup, so when I would go back home to visit in Mississippi, I would notice that people were still very much into the predatory economy. And so I said, it's really hard to pull somebody out of the predatory economy who's 55, 60, they're used to it. But it gave an opportunity to stop people from going into the predatory economy, which is why we focus on millennials.
All right. Thank you. Now we're quickly moving to my man, Nasir Kadri, Associate Director of Investments, Social Investments for AT&T. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Nasir Kadri. In 1 minute, 2 minutes? 2 minutes. So I originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and a first-generation college student. So education for me and just support system has always been a huge part of my life. Let me go. I feel like disrespecting the people behind me. So I work for AT&T. Literally just started about 8 months ago, where we find, develop, and invest in high-growth entrepreneurs. I work underneath the foundation, so literally helping AT&T change the way they think about deploying their foundation capital. Most corporate foundations, as we all know, they pretty much give grant dollars to large nonprofits, what's all over America, et cetera. And so AT&T is, came to me this year. You've been in the social impact space. We want to invest and think thoughtfully, how can we invest in for-profit companies along with nonprofit companies. And so I spent the past 4 years at a venture firm called Village Capital. I was global head of their education technology practice and investments. In the latter part of that time, served as head of their economic opportunity portfolio, essentially broadening my lens to not only education investments, but also health and financial inclusion. I got my start in the private sector at Goldman and State Street Bank, and like a lot of us, I felt that I call it one pocket thinking versus two pocket thinking. So two pocket thinking meaning that I wasn't working in a capacity where you were essentially you were looking to pay the bills and then spending Saturday and Sunday, spending most of your time focusing on your passion. One pocket thinking is really combining that two, and I felt that was my passion. That was the crux of where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. Friends and I, me and my closest friend, we founded a coffee shop, which is where I really got that niche of getting into entrepreneurship. If you go into your average coffee shop and you introduce yourself to about 10 people, probably 8 of them are probably building a business. And I had a chance to really get a sense of how they were building a business, who they were talking to, et cetera. And so made 3 personal investments through that experience at a coffee shop. And I guess a few bits of advice when I think about a high growth entrepreneur. I think one, think about the talent. I'm coming from the early stage, so the entrepreneur, the founder being able to really understand their market, me being able to have confidence in you that you're able to execute on the idea. I think 2, partnerships. If you want to go fast, go long, go far, go together. So the idea that you have a sense of not operating in silos, but being able to explore partners. And then 3, I think the market opportunity. Obviously, I think within any investor is that is a huge market opportunity. And then lastly, I think the next iconic idea is going to come. It's going to come like the next LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter is going to come from sectors that we interact with every day, and that's education, that's serving the underbanked, that's healthcare. So that's food security. That's where I want to spend the bulk of my time. And that is it. And I guess at AT&T, what we focus on is, as of right now, is education technology, employment technology. So bridging the skills gap between education and employment. The latter part, at the end of this year, we're going to expand that focus to more economic opportunity focused work. So really expanding to find, develop, and technology-driven ideas that directly support our poorest impacted communities across America. Thank you, sir. Okay, so we just had one of our tech entrepreneurs just dropped in. I've been excited because he has such a cool name, Alberto Altamirano.
But people call me Beto.
Beto.
Beto, yeah.
Beto, okay, well, that's what it is. So take it away.
Thank you. This is an awesome group. Seriously, I'm like very inspired. This is more inspiring than watching TED videos, by the way. My name is Beto Altamirano. It's Alberto, but it sounds like a telenovela, so just call me Beto. Beto Altamirano. And I'm the CEO and co-founder of CityFlag. CityFlag is a civic tech company that developed the first social network to connect people in government. So we develop applications and software to connect people by just reporting everything from a pothole to graffiti to vandalism while building community. Why? Because it's important. These things matter to the community. They matter to our community, especially undocumented people who are afraid or notifying the government and so on. We also save government up to $500,000 by notifying via an app than calling a call center. So we're very excited about what we're doing. We're expanding with 3 cities, Mexico City, San Antonio, Texas, which is 1.4 million people, and Mission, Texas. Our market is medium and small cities, 17,000 cities of those out there. So we're very excited to reach out to them. And we're looking for opportunities for investment, board members, and then strategic partners. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so Paris, Benson, coming over to you, sir. All right. Take it away.
Hey guys. Well, before I do my intro, I'm so excited to be here. I didn't know what to expect. It's my first time coming, but this is just
incredible. This is why I wanted to be part of the tech community for this right here. So thanks for inviting me. My name is Benson. I am the CEO and founder of a company called Wisely Finance. This is my third fintech startup. What we do is we offer an on-demand debt consolidation platform that helps community banks pay off their customers' credit card debt. The overall thesis is guys like Lending Club, Prosper, Avant, they offer debt consolidation loans, but they have a really high cost of capital, and they also have a really high cost of acquisition. We think that community banks are better positioned to offer these types of loans, so instead of competing with them, we created a platform that allows them to scan their existing customers, find the best lending opportunities, and originate those loans on their existing portfolio. We have 20 banks in our pipeline right now, 5 of them that we've already signed, 2 that we're launching this year. We just raised a $5.5 million seed. Seed round will be originating $300 million in loans this year, $1 billion next year, and in 2020, roughly $3 to $4 billion. We make 3% of all the loans that we originate with a 50% gross margin, and at scale, we get to about a 70% gross margin. So yeah, we're really excited to just be part of this community. What we're really looking for now that we've raised is we're looking for new customers. So if you guys know any community banks that have existing customers that want to get into the credit card debt consolidation space and originate these types of loans. Also, we're looking for additional value-add board members. We have some really awesome investors, some of which are part of this community, guys like Lindsay Lee, Denmark West, Rashawn Williams, and a number of other notable VCs. We're looking for a couple of independent board members to join board this year and help us get to the next level. So, have a good job.
We got to do something about this epidemic of underachievers in our community. We got to do something about that. Okay. Everybody, you want to say something?
Yeah, everybody just shut off their phone during a text message. And every time, whoever I find that is, I'm going to charge you. And then we're going to donate it.
Mama Bear ain't playing, y'all. I've gotten those charges. All right, Mr. Joe Heifel, Dash Systems.
I'm going to come to the front too. Big shout out to United Airlines for losing my bag. Bigger shout out to Target for fast fashion. It was a 1-hour flight from LAX too. I don't know how to do it. I'm Joel Eiffel, founder, CEO of Dash Systems. Everyone in this room, we're very privileged because we live in a major city. Getting things fast is not a challenge. It's an assumption that if you pick up your phone right now, you order something on Amazon, it'll come in 1 or 2 days. A lot of places in the world that is not true, and that's what we aim to fix. We do one thing, and one thing only very well. We ship things directly from the airplane to the ground. So quite literally, we throw packages out of airplanes, they land at the end customer, everyone is happy. It sounds fanciful, but we did this in person. Our biggest metric, the thing I'm most proud about, we formed our company in September. October, we were delivering in Puerto Rico to areas cut off from the ground after the hurricane. And in one flight, we delivered more pounds than Amazon Prime Air and Google Drone have delivered in 5 years. So our technology is real. It sounds fanciful. People want to say how it works. Gravity does most of the work, I'll be honest. I just have to throw it out. I'm so honored and happy to be here. Really what we're looking for is always strategic partners. If anyone, you and your business operation has ever lost money because you could not get something to your customers or could not get a critical supply in time, please see me, please talk to me. We love to help. If anyone's in the foundation community, nonprofit, humanitarian disaster relief, that's where we operate today the most. I would love to talk to you. Thank you very much.
All right, outstanding. And now we're going to go to Colin Wallace, Farmhill.
Hey everyone, my name is Colin Wallace. I'm the CEO of Farmhill. It's my 4th time CEO, founder, 2 successful exits, 1 crater. Hopefully this will be a 3rd successful exit relatively soon here. At Farmhill, we basically provide the software that lets you virtualize your cafeteria. So we all remember the experience of cafeteria in your high school or in your workplace. So what we've done is we built a software layer that allows you to source from local restaurants and have that delivered to your staff or to your school, what have you, on a daily basis. Currently, we provide about 5,000 meals per day, roughly $6 million a year in revenue right now, 34% gross margin, and we're growing roughly 11% month over month. We're going through the process of fundraising right now, but we also have a couple of acquisition offers, so I think we're trying to figure out what the right move is. I am looking for mentors, I think, for figuring out what the next step is. I am also looking to mentor. If anyone needs help, been through Techstars, Stanford Business, Georgia Tech, I mean, just been extremely fortunate. So I'd love to be a resource for everybody in this room, as well as an investor potentially as well. So yeah, just let me know if there's any way I can help.
Colin is such an underachiever, really.
We gotta raise the bar next year, Andrew. I mean, I don't know what we're doing here.
Fun fact too, I'm here because Andrew was my Airbnb guest. And he said, oh, you're doing some really awesome stuff, and so I said, oh, I gotta come to this.
Yeah. It is my mentor. He's a very successful Wall Street banker. So, but we didn't find that out until later, after
until she was moving in.
And I just want to go on record as saying he didn't just give me his Airbnb, he cut it, into a quarter of the price so that I can afford to stay for a long period of time. So thank you for that. But also, didn't you have your first successful exit in your 20s?
Yes.
Okay, so I think those details are really important. So definitely connect with him so you can learn what he knows.
Okay, beautiful. All right, Helen Adeosun.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Helen Adeosun. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Care Academy, and we believe we're solving for the largest healthcare crisis facing America for the next 20 years. So we provide online professional development for caregivers of older adults. According to the AARP, 92% of Americans who are 65 years or older expect to remain at home. Right now, this country has a critical shortage, so for the majority of them, that's not going to be possible, especially where things stand. So our company is providing classes that are just in time for folks who are really interested in frontline service work. We've done this in the last few years for up to 20,000 people. We just raised $2.2 million. And we're looking to grow the company within healthcare. Just came from Laguna and talked to some of the largest community health programs in the country. Our customers include CareLinks, that has 250,000 caregivers, as well as Honor, which signed over a month ago. So we're really excited to be here and would love to talk with folks who have connections into the healthcare space, because we know that this is the next piece of solving for a really large crisis that's coming our way. Thanks so much.
And we just have our last entrepreneur just dropped in, Mr. Russell Ladson, CEO of Drop.
Good morning, everyone. Literally just dropped in. If everyone can do me a favor, everyone hold up your smartphone. So I'm extremely lucky. I work with a team here in San Francisco that is radically rethinking the relationship that each of us share with our computing devices when the iPhone is no longer your primary computing device. So what does that mean? Well, how will you search, interact, and discover information in an immersive computing environment? So what happens when you have on a virtual reality or augmented reality headset? That let us answer in the question of, what does the browser look like? Today, the browser is typically the gateway to information discovery and productivity. So we built what we call Drop, an immersive internet searching and browsing experience designed for virtual reality. Today, Drop is one of the most popular and top downloaded VR titles on a leading VR headset, the HTC Vive. Last year, we actually closed our seed round, which was led by HTC as well. Where are we going next? We were actually lucky to, given our success, have HTC become one of our early developer and partners, where Drop will now be distributed on the HTC Vive Focus in China. I'm always here and I'm always around, looking forward to talking about all things VR and AR related. Thank you.
Okay, so was there any entrepreneurs that we did not, that kind of came late that I didn't know that we missed? Just make sure you were good. Okay, so now we get to do the speed dating. And I think we probably got cut down because we're a little bit behind. But 5 minutes, 6 minutes? Okay. Keep Krista happy so she doesn't become the evil gong girl. Okay, so we're gonna get started right now. You're gonna be able to mix and mingle. When we hear the gong, we know we gotta move. The entrepreneurs, influencers will then pick up their name tags, go to the next table. We're just gonna rotate this way, and then after everybody rotates, then we'll reconvene. All right, so we're good? We're good? All right, let's jump in.
I'm going to get the line up now, but I'd love to meet you, Brian. Nice to Are they required to
One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
There you go. Good, how you doing? All good. This is my second time running into you. Last time we were at the NABA conference. You were the keynote speaker. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that was in New Orleans. Yeah, in New Orleans, yeah. There you go. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We good?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not. What was I doing at their age? Nothing.
You do it right here. Anthony, you ready?
Crying over a broken heart, probably. So he's
No, stay right here. Anthony, we good? All right, then. So actually, we're going to stand right over here. And so he's shooting back there. We're good. So all the folks who are watching our live stream here with Andrea Hoffman. So, of course, she is the one who created this. When did you get this idea? What led you to say, you know what, this has to happen?
So it's interesting. It was about 9 years ago, I wrote a book called Black is the New Green about marketing to affluent African Americans. And at the time, my business model was different. So I thought I would take that book and bring it to life and create a brunch where those people that we profiled in the book, affluent African Americans, could connect with luxury brands so that we could show luxury brands that these customers existed. And over the years, my business evolved into Culture Shift Labs, and we decided that we wanted to be advisors to corporations that can get their business to business right, and how to fuel the next generation of entrepreneurs, how to think about being deliberate around the intersection of diversity, inclusion, and innovation, and how they're interrelated and what that means to their business.
And I'm sure somebody said, why are you doing this, though? Anybody black doing this? Somebody Latino doing this? Why are you doing this?
You know, Van Jones once told a room like this, he said, you know, why didn't we think of it? And why did somebody like Andrea? And he said, because we were busy, right? Heads down, trying to prove ourselves, trying to get to the next level. And so for me, I was in a room back in about 2000, and I was sitting at a very iconic luxury brand with all of the executives who had power, money, and access. And they had hired me to help them find new markets and new business opportunities. And when I found that, because I was a multicultural strategy expert and business development expert, and I presented this data, they didn't really act on it. And I was baffled, I was frustrated, and so I decided to dedicate my life to creating opportunities for rooms like this, for people like this, for companies that actually do want to get it right. And so since 2000, I've dedicated my life to this.
So when people say, oh my God, we can't find folks, and you're going, they're here.
In vast numbers, at very high levels, highly accomplished, many highly educated, many others just hustling to produce quantifiable results in whatever it is that they're dedicated to, whether it's community or commerce. And I have built the nation's largest database of black subject matter experts that are highly accomplished, and that's the way we're able to solve problems for companies very, very quickly. So we defy this idea, this notion of I can't find any.
And you've actually seen, by putting this together, Bob Johnson always talks about you got to be in the deal flow. You've seen individuals, by virtue of this, who've been funded.
Absolutely. So Culture Shifting Weekend seems like a good party over the weekend, but it's a mission disguised as an event. We're very deliberate about being enablers of deals and collaborations. So when you think about Sun Valley and Allen and Company doing their conference, when you think about Milken or Davos, that's what I have developed for the black community to ensure that there's more wealth created, and I take that very seriously, and there's been a lot of results as a result of this weekend.
All right, so we're going to do this here. We're just going to slightly walk over here. So what is going on right now? So for all the folks who are watching us, what is actually happening right now?
So the entrepreneurs have pitched earlier today, and now they're digging deep into all of the executives, influencers, venture capitalists, and other people that can help them with making their companies and their ideas successful.
So you have like one person who was the big dog at the table, and so what's happening now is they're actually moving from table to table.
So there are actually more big dogs in the room than entrepreneurs, and we did that intentionally. There are 16 entrepreneurs and 50 influencers and highly accomplished leaders. So for example, there's a gentleman at the table right now. He manages the Newhouse Venture Fund. It's a $300 million fund. He's very under the radar. He's a black man, and he's here to learn and help and invest.
Now, what is that? Newhouse Venture Fund, what is that?
So Cy Newhouse.
Got it. Cy Newhouse, got it, with Condé Nast. Right, and so he's looking to invest in what? Anything?
So things that are relative to Condé Nast, and primarily it's a media company.
I need to meet him.
And we'll make that happen because we make shift happen.
And again, so you chose that hashtag, was a make shift happen, because you're trying to actually shift the game away from largely white men running companies and creating and building wealth to open the doors to other people.
As Mitch and Frida Kaport always say, they want to level the playing field. And so I want to do my part, but I want to do it with speed. And so I've decided to create a weekend that is focused on deals and collaborations in real time, before, during, and after. I have a company that's a consultancy, but this is our weekend where we bring our knowledge and our network together.
And you do how many a year? Because I've been to 2. So what was in New York? Then you had one that was specific to venture capitalists. So how many times do you do this a year?
Culture shifting weekends happen in California and New York. And in California, it's a different format and a different model. It's multi-day, multifaceted. In New York last year, we made a pivot to be the largest gathering of black venture capitalists to ensure that there's more investment money going to them and that they create success. And it's a ripple effect for all the people that they're investing in, plus their own wealth creation. And we did it very successfully. People got funding sort of very shortly thereafter. And it's working. I can tell you that we're making people like this more visible, to be found and funded, to do deals amongst each other, and defy a lot of the stereotypes that, one, they don't exist. And when I say they, I mean board members, I mean C-suite executives, entrepreneurs, technologists, inventors, investors, and to ensure that they are getting access to what they need and doing deals together, because a lot of times they don't even know each other because they're the only.
Well, and it's interesting because I got invited by a sister to attend the one in New York to be a participant, and then got a chance to meet you, meet others as well. And then we were at the one in New York with the VCs, and we were able to do those stories. People were like, oh my God, I never heard of these people. And then for folks who are watching, they're actually watching the live stream, so they got to hear those initial presentations. And then, of course, we have the stuff that's going to be taking place tomorrow and Sunday. And again, using media to sort of the person who is somewhere across the country who couldn't even get here, they're now watching going, oh my God, I never even heard of this.
To be able to democratize the knowledge and the network and inspire people to say, if you could see it, you could be it. I could do that. They did it. What's their story? But I have to actually give you some love, Roland, because you're using your platform to change the narrative, and you're using the power of your ecosystem to say, these are things that you should know about. It's not just the past and the disparities, inequities, injustices, and problems. Here are things that will inspire you to be and do more. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. So we're going to be doing a lot of interviews with different folks in this room, so you'll see some of that stuff live. You'll see some of the stuff when we go back and edit it, and so looking forward to a great weekend.
Thank you, Roland, for all that you do to support all these kinds of movements and missions.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. She got to go back to work, and so we're going to let them keep talking, and so I'll be back with y'all in a minute.
Entrepreneurs at your table. That's our space.
One of the biggest. So I can just say quickly, with what we offer with student loans, 7 out of 10 people actually in the workforce average. It's going, people are paying sort of to Generation X, baby boomers, so if you're looking for creative ways to attract talent, as well as invest in financial readiness of the workforce, what I mean by that is that if you have something that is hard to buy, it's hard to save for retirement, it's hard to emergency shocks. And this is not just we're talking about doctors,
So we're gonna do this one a little different. We're gonna take a stroll across. That's boring. All right. So first of all, so we got a bunch of folks who are watching. We're live streaming right now, Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook, all 3 platforms. So for the folks watching, tell them who you are.
I'm Kwame Anku. I'm one of the co-founders of the Black Angel Tech Fund.
All right. So what is Black Angel Tech Fund?
So Black Angel Tech Fund is an early stage venture capital firm. So we look to invest in early stage companies that have black technology founders at the helm.
So let's say, for instance, I'm actually, should I say this? Okay, I'm gonna actually unveil it, but let's just say I'm working on something that is digitally oriented, dealing with media. And so we plan to launch 9/4/18. And so someone like me or others, what they're looking for is just that initial boost to be able to get their platform off the ground.
That's right. So that's what we're looking to do, is to help to get that seed there to be able to launch these companies. That's really where the big gap has been historically, not only for folks of color, but just entrepreneurs in general. But you can imagine it's 10 times, 100 times harder when it's folks of color trying to get those tech platforms up off the ground.
Now, are those platforms, are they only for-profit or some for-profit and non-profit? Because we're seeing something interesting now in terms of how people are setting up companies. They're not just the traditional for-profit company.
You're absolutely right. So our fund specifically focuses on for-profit companies, but you're right, we're now seeing a new hybridization where the nonprofits and for-profits are coming together.
And so let's say this. So first of all, how long have you been in tech?
So I've been in tech actually for going on 4 years now. Started working with Prince and developing his app. That's how I got involved.
And the thing that first of all, as somebody who, luckily I had a chance to meet Prince on several occasions to talk with him, and a lot of people really don't remember that before in iTunes, he actually created his site to download his music.
That's right. It was the NPG Music Club. So he was the pioneer in this whole space where he was charging a monthly fee and fans got exclusive access to his content. That was in the late 90s, early 2000s. And at the height of it, I believe he had about 7 to 8 million people that were active paying users per month.
And so he recruits you, pulls you in, and then, of course, then also the coding effort that Van Jones has been working with. Van always says, like, guys, that wasn't me. That idea came from Prince.
Yeah, absolutely. It was in the wake of the Trayvon Martin verdict where George Zimmerman was acquitted. Prince was very distraught about that and just said, hey, why is it that when we see a young black guy in a hoodie, we think he's a criminal, but we see a young white kid in a hoodie, we think it could be Mark Zuckerberg. And we need to focus on changing that. And he came up with a vision to get 100,000 youth of color to be world-class computer coders. And that was the birth of Yes We Code, was from Prince.
So this was happening right now. I mean, this is, and one of the reasons I wanted to live stream this, because there are people out there who have no idea that this happens, that this exists.
There's no question, and I can tell you, we were talking about Prince. You got to spend time with him. I had some incredible time with him. Tomorrow marks the 2-year anniversary of his passing. And I can tell you, I can feel his spirit looking over this space and smiling and being proud. Because this is where the change is actually happening. You're talking about, you have top black tech executives, top black tech entrepreneurs, top companies all together, and the whole sole purpose is how do we work together, how do we do deals together, and how do we build wealth together.
And Andre's been doing this for quite some time. And I'll go ahead and say it. How important is it for somebody who's not black, who's not Latino, to say, hey, this matters, and I've got to use my access and my knowledge to be able to make this thing happen?
It's critical, because at the end of the day, everything is about allies. And Andrea Hoffman is an ally, and she's put in 2 decades of work developing relationships, cultivating. I've worked with her personally. She's a friend of mine. She's helped me to put deals together. So it's critical, and it's that whole mentality that you're talking about. I see the problem. I know the position that I'm in to help to solve that problem, and I'm going to roll up my sleeves and get involved. And that's exactly what she's done, and it's critical that our allies from other communities step up and join this with us so that we can, build a different future together.
Have you also just been, when this thing has happened over the years, have you also had one of those moments where you go, wow, this is actually happening, and then you begin to see individuals who met at this place or in New York and where deals came together and companies begin to grow, and if it wasn't for this, none of that would have happened?
There's no question. I mean, I think about a friend of mine, Laura Weedman Powers, and she's one of the founders of Code 2040. She met probably the highest-ranking black tech executive in Silicon Valley, David Drummond at Google, now Alphabet. She met him at this event and invested in her company, and she presented at this event last year. So this is exactly what you're saying. The space is being created. The folks are coming to get deals done. I had that moment you're talking about, that, oh my God, it's happening. I had that moment 30 minutes ago, watching each one of these entrepreneurs talk about, yeah, I raised $2 million, I raised $4 million. We're now, we've got 100,000 customers. It is happening right now, right here, right now.
All right, then. Well, man, good seeing you. We certainly appreciate it. Let's go look forward to a great weekend. All right, folks, I'll be back with y'all in a second while they keep having the conversation. All right.
We're very focused on how
underrated educated. So we have about 90% market share in the MBA market through our partner. That's a very specific persona. It's a much larger opportunity in the United States. So it's two competitive advantages. Number one is taking a values-based approach to recruiting. We develop a soft skills and values assessment and simultaneously educate students and give them that language to articulate themselves and especially effectively. But it's also the type of data that the recruiter wants to know in terms of, is this person entrepreneurial, are they going to risk, or are they more process-oriented, more creative? So that's number one. Number two is you think about all the companies you have, basically career websites. There's a lot of content.
Here at LinkedIn, because you guys need to listen to this too.
The problem is people have to know what to search for.
Yeah. So if you're applying for a job at Snapchat, instead of submitting your resume and your cover letter, or at LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn will post a design assessment, or Snapchat will post a design assessment, and then once you take this assessment, you figure out where you rank on your classes, right? So if you exercise your 80% proficient in HTML and CSS, but you're 50% proficient in wireless or in vision, right? As a professional, it's super meaningful because now I know I need to go work on my vision skills. I don't need to worry about HTML and CSS because I'm doing fine, right? So they don't waste $15,000 going to learn how to code at General Assembly. And then you get like online so partners right now are more so major brands, leading startups. So we really try to find companies that are doing innovative things in the space that resonate with our use case. 25 to 30 stores are but we're also developing partnerships with all these campuses. Right? So think about what's happening to the students once they come in. We're actually in talks with Galvanize right now about what's happening with them. So every data science student that goes through their program goes onto the platform. So they actually It's a good move. Exactly. It's not enough, right? And when I left General Assembly, I realized that I've been happy we got fired. Honestly, probably could try to hire for so much more if that big problem wasn't there, right? So we realized people weren't learning what they need to learn. The easiest way is to skill them on what's actually needed at the job, right? Because I can look at a job description and think, I think I can do this, but then the recruiter never gets back to me. I'm like, well, maybe I can't do it, right? So as professionals taking assessments, they're building a portfolio at the same time. So even if you don't get the job at Snapchat, you now can go to another company and say, look at what I've done for Snapchat, Uber, Spotify, all these No, and that's probably the biggest differentiator for us. There's a company called HackerRank that does this just for devs. It doesn't exist for anyone else in the market. So how do you tell someone's a good product? Data UX no, it's coming though. So people will be able to run one of these types of assessments. Yes, I know Python. So and basically you match them. Exactly. So with us, it's customizing every service, right? So we'll give you a data safe around there. Okay, perfect. Numerical order? Yes, I do. I mean, you do your this is not enough time to have conversations with everyone. So I would love to connect with you. You guys are all weekend or you just
Okay, so explain more about what you're doing.
Yes. So my startup started as making
this table? You have, okay. So the point is that how can we have distributed sensing network in the ocean? So as you can see, the key to our dynamic or energy independent system is that we need data, right? That's why you can have autonomous car. You're using data or connected cities. When it comes to ocean, how do you connect the ocean? So it started with the underwater room, but then we worked with 3D technologies to permit that you have new speakers at the table. Our first product is a data sensing platform. So think of it almost like a wheel. So if you have heard of Samsara or other companies like that, they're like something like a plug and play sensor body, and we can connect any drop of water anywhere in the world to the cloud. And when you have multiple of these networks, they all mesh together. So they work in a mesh network.
What in like one like how we would utilize that? Right? Are you building a city?
This is what is, we are collecting data and we are connecting any of your offshore assets to the cloud. So for example, if you have fish farms, offshore rigs, if you have ships, we put essentially think of it as a Wi-Fi modem with a sensor module anywhere and it connects it to the cloud. And so you can optimize your operation. You can see our
Good morning, everyone. My name is Russell Addison. I'm the CEO of a company here in San Francisco called Drop. We've been looking at how people will search, interact, and discover information in a smartphone world. Today, we built one of the first VR AR conference. Popular and downloaded VR title. We're growing at about 16% per month right now. In addition to that, we're in early partnering with a leading general headset in China, HTC Vive. Last year, we closed our C round, which was by HTC. We're currently doing Series A.
Well, you just buy that anyway.
How are you thinking about how
we don't even consider it asynchronous. So what you're starting to see right now is that there are more augmented interfaces. On Snapchat, everyone has some type of digital overlay. There's a growing VR and AR content, and the limitations for a smartphone can reach in terms of discovering information. So we're actually at the right point right now where Drop kind of most people call it VR and AR.
Do you think we're at an inflection where people like that now?
Yeah, so there's get to a point where the camera, because really that's all VR and AR is like essentially the camera. So the limitations for information discovery is no longer valuable. That's why you see most people now using VR and AR because that's how you get best communication. No. So our goal is to actually create the first piece of hardware that's like a 7-year vision that actually replaces the true smartphone. I actually think it's more of a virtual wearable outside of a headset. I don't think it's a headset.
Hi, Riley Jones, I'm the founder and CEO of Block. We're based in New York City. We're AR organizations that work with youth, help people into the community. So there's also a big push button that we're partners at City University of New York, which is our largest university system in the country. 24 campuses, and we work with them in the office special projects to actually help them build career portals that use that specific campus and make it much more tailored to each individual student in the program. These are
And you said AR, so augmented reality. Oh, AI. Yeah. Okay. AI. And so you're connecting directly to students or via this?
No, so we're working with an organization programs that are already doing the work.
And businesses are primarily nonprofit. Yeah, how do you think about the market for
well, I mean, actually, if you look at it, every individual child typically constantly organizations doing the same work. So the price point is accessible. And one big difference. So many different students out there want to SEO, so they're able to actually pay $50
what in terms of, rather than you just being that institution, what sort of recommendation do you provide to the institution that makes it relevant to different. Yeah, so I mean, there's the kind of design but the issue right now is right to they'll do like a broad list of like these are opportunities. And that's cool. But a lot of these are